That kind of sounds like the opening,
Yeah,
right?
I think that sounded pretty good. Here we are.
I mean, with the 3 billion times I've listened to it, just through the editing and everything, I hope to Christ I know what it sounds like.
Yeah. There's a little Easter egg. It's actually "Happy Birthday, Bossa Nova." That's a deep cut for
Oh
all you
yeah, I thought you were saying like
thickheads out
actually
there.
happy birthday to the bossa nova, and I was like, there's like a day that it. But you mean like that's the name of yeah, it's the name of the thing.
That's the name of the song. All right. Well,
Oh shit, I think my hang on, I think my video's messed up. Let me fix it. Is that better?
yeah, yeah,
Does that look
yeah.
good? Okay,
I
cool.
think you have your background on from when you're teaching.
Oh
That's so
no.
embarrassing.
This is for my Kantai collection streams. Is this am I messed up?
You know what's
This is
you know what's funny?
this is your orders, my
You know what's
captain.
funny is that you were sitting on this like little fun technical Zoom prank, and then I was struggling to get on Skype for like literally an hour, and
Yeah, we literally
you just showed me up my technical prowess in like 2 seconds with with your little.
we literally were like, "Hey, you want to start streaming at 12:45?" And I was like, "Sure. I mean, I'm a lazy bum, but yeah, let's do it." And then it's fucking 2. Yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. All right. Well, we're live.
Well, we're here.
Recording.
Hello. It's been a minute, as the kid on the streets would say it. I think.
I'm just gonna leave that up.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah.
Oh
Sorry,
no!
it's
Oh
too
no! Oh
distracting for
no!
you. Oh wait, my bad.
I've
Oh no, it's broken. I can't
I'm
change
not.
it.
Oh darn! Oh no!
Damn.
You're gonna have to get your stepbrother to go in there and help you change it.
Step bro, can you help? How's this? Okay, I'll go back to okay. Actual thing. I thought the Big Titty Bow Girls background was good, but sounds like someone doesn't like it.
Well, it doesn't fit today's theme, which is Fiverr Part Two, the much awaited Fiverr Part Two, wherein you ordered some Fiverr artists to write some fanfics starring me, and then I hit you right back.
Yep.
We got 3 fanfics today, all starring you, and I'm just gonna let you know
Wonderful.
we have an opening topic, but I'm just gonna let you know that I gave them only the information that you're from Florida and you're
Okay.
tall. That's it.
Okay, good.
That's it.
I mean,
Sorry if that
there's
doxes you,
literally
but that's all I gave them.
like literally nothing else to my personality. So as long as you gave him the two main things, I guess that's really all that
Yep.
matters. So that's good. Okay. Wonderful. I'm excited to read these. Like I do want to do this opening topic because I feel like it's been a while and we have some stuff to talk
Mm-hmm.
about. But we'll see if we can get through it. So, what do you think the opening topic is about?
Um. Uh.
What would we talk
It's
about
gonna
in an
be
opening topic?
Chris Rock getting slapped by Will Smith and the effects on the fanfiction community.
No, see, that seems too timely. Like that seems like we're gonna date ourselves. Like if we talk about
Are
that too
you
much,
insinuating that this isn't like gonna stay forever? Like this isn't the most important thing that's ever happened?
Well, I forgot I have seen the news, and it is the most important thing it's ever. It's really 9/11 Part
It
Two, the slap heard around the world.
it was just voted as the most important thing to ever happen in this century.
That's good. I'm in this century.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an important thing to happen within the past
Yeah.
like 3 years. Has happened that's more important.
Oh yeah.
That's just depressing, honestly. Like entirely depressing. Yeah, and literally every single thing on the planet is talking about it. When you came to Gainesville a couple weeks ago, oh wait, I just doxed myself. Well, everyone knows I go to school here, right?
No,
Whatever.
I don't think so.
Yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit? Yeah, come and find me. If you buy from my eBay store, you're gonna have my address anyway. So good, good. There you go. Buy from the eBay store. I've advertised it on the Twitter. Come and find me. I don't know, whatever. Just don't read Catcher in the Rye on the plane over here. Uh, but when you came and visited, we I was telling you about the Whoopi Goldberg shit, and you didn't know what the View was. And how did I describe it? It was like it's like 4 women who know nothing about anything but talk like they know everything about
No,
everything.
four women who don't
Yeah,
know anything but talk about everything. And it's like that
yeah, that
honestly
was
is
it.
like a real tagline. That's like some somebody would listen to that and be like, you know what? Yeah,
I could give him a
a
chance.
bunch of real bozos who know nothing but want to give their opinion anyway.
Hey, do you remember the Sister Act from like 30 years ago? Do you want to hear what the main character of that has to say about World War II and the Holocaust? No? That's surprising to me. I don't believe you.
You don't want to
Uh,
accidentally
so
watch it at a dentist's office? All right, what do you got for me?
it literally, you don't want to walk into grandma's house and it's on because she doesn't know how to turn the channel. Uh, Um, no, so it's not that. It's not that. I wish it was the View. I kind of wish we had some View fanfic. No, I want to discuss with you something that could potentially be near and dear to your heart. The Lord of the Rings of Power.
Okay.
What are your thoughts so far?
Uh, Comes out in like November, right?
Yeah, I think everything I've seen just sort of says like generally late 2022. So,
I think
oh,
I
yeah.
read a pretty good take on it. I don't like the Amazon Prime veneer shiny cover that everything
Hmm.
has. It doesn't look like the movies. It looks more Hobbit
Yeah.
than Lord of the Rings, and even more so looks more like new and shiny and CGI than the Hobbit. So I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. Obviously, cautiously
Hmm.
optimistic, but I don't have like huge expectations or hopes.
So what's really interesting, have you seen that opener like crawl they did where like the molten like metals like moving and there's like the steam and all that?
Yep,
That's actually practical.
I did read that. I did read
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and they use
So
like yeah.
it's funny that you say there's like a shiny veneer and then like one of the things that they like advertise with is practical.
Well, I think it's
Um
just like literally the shots and like how it's how
yeah.
the camera is set. Like it's very clean. It's
Hmm.
very high aspect
Yeah.
ratio. It's just
Well, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Peter Jackson film Lord of the Rings on actual film?
I honestly don't. All I know is that the Hobbit looked terrible because it was 40 FPS, and he like really tried to,
Yeah.
and it just looked
It
like
was
daytime
it was
television.
60
60,
FPS.
yes, thank you. It looked like
Yeah, 60.
the local news.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about with the FPS thing, typical video, like in
First person
everything,
shooter.
is a first-person shooter. The best one is Modern Warfare 2, where you can shoot a bunch of civilians in an airport. But other FPSs is frames per second, so like the frame rate of the camera taking the photos, and then that turns into the frames that slide across the projection back in the day. And now we just do the same, but like just how often the image changes per second. Typically, I think it's actually like 29.97, but it's we just say 30. And Peter Jackson was positive that the newest technology was going to say no, it's 60 frames per second, and your eye can't even track that many frames per second anyway. So I don't know why he'd think that was a good idea, but it looks weird. And but because we're basically used to the technology being 30 frames per second, so that's actually what looks real to us because we've told ourselves that's real.
I'll say
And then the 60 frames per second. Yo,
I
what's
was just
up?
saying, it's like if you ever went over to your friend's house to watch a movie and maybe you had seen that movie or you were like familiar with movies from that time and they put it in their DVD player, like you had never seen Blu ray before, and you were just looking at it like, what is this? Like, why does everything look so weird and real? Like, why does it look like it's like a window
Yeah.
and I can like reach in and it's like, it looks really so real, it's distracting. That happened with me with the Green Mile on Blu ray. I was like, why does this look like this?
Why does this look
Whenever
good? It's supposed to look
whenever
bad.
my friend's house, I was like, it
Um,
doesn't even look good. It just looks uncanny.
it was probably on VHS. Or are you talking
I
about when
think
you
it
went
was
to your
on
friend's house
Blu-ray.
and saw the Green Mile?
Yeah, when I went to my
Oh,
friend's
okay.
house. Yeah.
Blu-ray, Blu-ray. The same thing happened with a lot of old silent films. Now that they're like restoring them, they're restoring them from like the original negatives. So the silent footage, like film footage, or like the really really old footage, looks really good because a lot of film, as long as you preserve it well, can scan into HD like no problem whatsoever. And
And also, they can you can use artificial intelligence to like infer some of the frames that are
yeah,
missing, and you can really
yeah,
like clean it up.
they don't do that as much just because it does look weird. But if that's an interesting thing to someone, Criterion Collection actually talks a lot about that on their YouTube, like video restoration. And well, Ryan and I saw this in theaters. They Shall Not Grow Old by Peter Jackson. He talks about restoring old footage at the end of that, and that's a fucking awesome documentary. But a lot of the old silent film or silent movie era films, they were not converted to like VHS or DVD correctly, so they're actually like sped up or slowed down. And so, because the frames per second rate ends up being higher, and so now when you're watching them with the correct frames per second, a lot of people have said that like the newest like Nosferatu remake is like too slow because they're used to seeing it their entire life sped up because they didn't realize that the frame rate was
Mm-hmm.
different. Um, I don't really know why it's important to any of this, but I guess maybe it's just because it's like Lord of the Rings is taking a different approach than what people are used to with, or Amazon's taking a different approach with Lord of the Rings than what people are used to, and that could be something that's sort of like uncanny to the person who's watching it, where it's like this doesn't look regular. This doesn't look right. Like I don't like the way that this looks. Um, I agree with that for sure. But also, just full transparency. I know I was like live texting you as I finally watched them. I finally saw the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Eh. No, like I it's maybe it's just one of those things where it's like I needed to have experienced it when it happened. You know what I mean?
No, I mean I could definitely see it's they're of their own. They're of a different, totally different. Like they'll never be like that again. Obviously, they'll never make movies like a movie like that again. But it's
No,
yeah, it's just like slow. It's like
I was
it's not like I mean I feel like we may be conditioned kind of with like some fan service or maybe some more explanation. There really
yeah
is like there's like a
yeah
lot of like talking and voiceover
yeah
work on that, but none of it really helps you to understand what's going on. So you're just kind of like,
no
all right, Gandalf left and came back like 10 times in the first 5 minutes, and then he's gone the rest of the movie, and I have no idea
yeah
what's
dude
happening right now. And then they're all split up and they're saying names, and there's like nobody's even bothering to explain anything. So I mean, I
yeah
think the perfect. So what your point was, is I think the perfect time to experience that for me was when I was a kid, and I was like not going to understand any of that or even try anyway. So I was just like,
mm.
oh wow, cool, wow. So I could just one thing to another.
Whoa
It's like if you really go back and watch Phantom Menace, they're talking about like trade blockades. Like when we saw that as kids,
yeah
we didn't think about that.
I don't care
We
about
didn't even
yeah
hear it.
yeah
But that's what got people so mad when they first saw it.
and I the yeah, like I said, maybe I just needed to have experienced it when it came out. So this is funny. I actually know for a fact that I purchased a ticket for a Lord of the Rings movie, and it was because my mom and I could not get into the Harry Potter movie because there were no seats left. So we snuck into the Harry Potter movie, watched the first one. It's actually really we snuck in, and I think I had to watch it on her lap.
Hmm.
So I went and saw Harry Potter instead of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, that's a good trade. As long
So
as you didn't
anyway,
go see like you
yeah,
went to go see
it's
Bad Teacher starring Cameron Diaz instead of like Citizen Kane.
Okay. Okay, but see, the thing is, until you actually become a teacher, that grading scene does not become more real to you. It's one of the best moments in cinema where she's like, "Are you fucking stupid?" in red pen. I can't tell you what that feels like, dude. I cannot tell you what it feels like to grade when people just don't know what they're
That
doing.
movie came out on my 16th
And I
birthday.
and I teach.
It came out on my 16th birthday, and
Yeah,
I drove to go see it, and I had to sneak in because it was R, but I still drove to see it.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. Did you like it?
No.
I don't hate that movie. I mean, it's a perfectly passable like mid 2010s comedy. That's the point of the movie. I had the weekend of my birthday. I had Lone Survivor, American Sniper, 13 Hours, and fuck, what was the other one that came out? Because in high school, it like became a thing where me and my friends would go eat Wing House and then go see a war movie
Wow, you just wanted to run
on
through
my
a
birthday.
red, white, and
It's for
blue
like
brick
literally
wall.
no reason. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. It was like, let's go to Wing House and get
Zero
really
Dark 30?
sick
Was
off
Zero
of the
Dark 30
disgusting.
coming out at that time?
Zero Dark 30. That was the other one. Yes, yes, yes. You knew, dude. I knew you'd know it. Yeah, that's what it was. So it was literally like pop 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 pop. Like they literally came out all like the same weekend or like close to the same weekend of my
Mm-hmm.
birthday. So I'd be like, damn, 13 Hours just came out. I gotta wait a week to go see it with my friends.
Gotta wait, darn.
Damn it, I gotta wait. So, anyways, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Do you know what Rings of Power is based on? And this is coming from someone who doesn't really care, has no tie to it. I don't have a dog in this fight at all, so I'm really just trying to trigger
Not
you.
really. I don't know what it's based on. I haven't looked at it.
So, if I'm correct, the original books, the movies take place in the Third Age.
Okay.
Is that right?
Sure.
Well, you didn't sound really confident by saying sure like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So.
okay. Yeah, let's say yes.
Yep. Yep. Okay, bitch. Sure you ain't no hobbit. Bitch, are you sure you ain't a hobbit? I'm looking really stupid right now. I believe that's all set in the Third Age, and so Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power is set in the Second Age.
Okay, right on.
So before the events of The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings.
There's some interesting thing in that. Like Sauron is essentially like Lucifer. Like he's very handsome and he goes around. He like beguiles people and he like sails.
Yep.
Sails west to the like the undying realm and all this stuff. So There's some interesting stuff they could do with that for sure.
So do you know this because of the lore that you know, or do you know this because of something that they've released, like official press
The
release or
lore.
something? Okay, so you know it's because of the lore. Okay, so basically what happened, and I had to look it up because I didn't want to get it wrong. Amazon so far, please guess how much money they've spent on production
Ooh.
and like the option
Pro-
cost to option
oh,
the material.
probably more than like 40, 50 million.
Brother, come on,
100,
come
110.
on. You were very off.
What is it?
They have spent over $1 billion on the Lord of the Rings so far.
Oh no. Oh no. It's just like when they bought MGM. It's like the
Yeah.
Oscars did a big like farewell to James Bond, not because Daniel Craig won't be Bond anymore, but now it's going to be like, well, there's going to be like 800 terrible Amazon Prime James Bond TV shows. So that was nice. That was a good run. I feel like this like
Yes.
we're going to get like, oh my god, we're going to get that Tom Bombadil finally, but he's going to get his own mini series. It's going to be like 20 seasons.
Exactly. And they're going to fucking milk it for all it's worth. And it's going to be worth a
it's gonna be
lot.
starring like some random actor that like everyone like the guy who plays like the main character from Succession. Like he'll burn out and everyone will forget about
Hmm.
him, and then he'll play Tom Bombadil for like 4 seasons, and then
And he'll win every award possible.
right, and then like one person
Yeah.
you know will watch and be like, that show's really good.
Oh,
That
Jesus.
show's really
I can already hear that. I already know people
really
who would
good.
say that to me. Actually, you'd be really surprised at how good it
Yeah,
is.
you'd be blown away. Sneaky
And I
Pete, bro.
think,
Sneaky Pete's the best show ever made, bro.
Jesus
Bro,
Christ.
look at me.
I think what makes this like so fascinating is the fact that Coda, which is a
What?
Apple Plus TV, Apple TV Plus, Coda.
Huh?
Oh, you motherfucker. Okay.
What about it?
Well,
What about it? What about it? It was just one.
it just won the
Yeah,
Oscar.
yeah.
So here now we have streaming being taken seriously. They're winning the highest award in all the land.
I would say
And
that's-
I think it has for a while with TV.
I feel like streaming is like, it's like this is like the worst time to win it because now it's like this is like the full decline of like the Oscars and what any of it really means. It's like
Yeah, no one gives a shit
they
anymore.
win, but like
Yeah.
they also by winning they had to destroy it. Like they had to fully make it so no
Yeah.
one cared about film or going to see
At all.
movies, and then they
Yeah.
won. So like, hey, if they had won in like 2014 or 2012, like that'd be pretty cool. But they had to
Mm-hmm.
literally bring everything down into the mud, and then they won.
And it's so funny because the people that won are still treating it like it's worth a shit. And like everyone's like, nobody cares. Like literally the only reason anyone knows about this Oscars is because of the slap heard around the world 9/11.2. It's not because of Coda winning or Dune winning 6 Oscars.
All off screen. All off screen. Okay,
all
so
off
let's get to your
screen.
point.
Not a
Let's
single
get
one.
to your point. No one cares about. Everyone
So
hates Dune, bro.
Everyone hates Dune. It's the
we
worst
were so,
movie
we
ever.
were
My
so
point
hyped about
is,
Dune, and then Spider-Man came out and set literal all-time records. We're like, that's good for the
Yeah.
pandemic, and then Spider-Man comes out. Spider-Man. I got
okay, but the
Doctor
thing is,
Strange
it's not.
chocolate in my Spider-Man peanut butter extravaganza comes out.
I was to say it's not
money.
it's not the third Spider-Man movie.
makes-
it's the 7th Spider-Man movie now in that
It
series.
makes more money than Avengers Endgame.
But that's what these fucking parasitic
matter,
leeches
dude.
at Disney do. They don't actually fucking care about stories. They're leeching off of fucking Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. That's the only reason anyone gave a shit about that movie. Nobody fucking cared about Spider-Man 3 until they knew for a fact Green Goblin was going to be in it and fucking Doc Ock. They can't do anything that's worth any while, okay? They have to fucking steal from shit from the past because they are fucking creatively bankrupt. I'm so whatever.
Dude,
okay,
I love Dune. I love
I'm
Dune.
trying to trigger you and you triggered me. God damn it.
I love Dune. It was one of the best movies. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen in theaters, hands down. It got
Oh, the RPX experience is amazing.
it got dunked on. It got dunked on this summer. Dunked on hard.
I know it did. I know, and that's fine. And then guess what? The Batman with Pattinson also did really well. Okay. Whatever. Why the fuck do I care? But okay, so my point, I'm trying to trigger you, and I'm getting triggered. My point is, Lord of the Rings is spending $1 billion, so they're not going to let this go easy if it doesn't do well. Sort of like, AKA the Wheel of Time, which nobody watched, and the people that did watch it fucking hated it. And if you're out there and you're listening to this and you love the Wheel of Time, that's great. I'm really happy for you. I'm not shitting on the Wheel of Time. I'm just saying that generally the things that I've seen, no one really liked it. Which is another beloved fantasy series that they spent a ton of money on. Amazon has plunged $1 billion into this. Guess how much they optioned Or guess how much they spent on just the first season alone of Rings of
Is
Power.
that production or just like the rights to it?
I believe production. It's the production budget, which I think includes paying the actors and
I mean,
actresses.
probably like 200 mil. Like a
462 million.
460. That's less than they put into Spider-Man, which is the highest grossing best film ever made.
Ever made. Avatar only used this much money. Yes. 462 million. Then they basically have option costs. They have the cost to advertise it, as they've done. And when they optioned it, what's really weird, and of course, all of this is happening after Christopher Tolkien passes away. So Christopher Tolkien, to my understanding, because I've done a little reading on all this, really, really, really didn't want anyone to destroy his dad's legacy and the legacy that he put into saving his dad's work with the Silmarillion and stuff like that. If I'm wrong, please correct me since you're
No, dude. To
the Loader
me,
fan.
I mean, I love the movies. I love the live action movies. To me,
Mhm.
only the CBS cartoons from the 70s and 80s are canon. Those are the only canon,
The-
and they're so
okay,
good.
got it.
They're so good.
Okay, got
And
it.
those are on Amazon.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic.
That was part of them. That
Are
was
you-
part of Amazon buying it. Is if you have Amazon,
It
if
probably
you have
is.
Amazon Prime, you can go watch them right now for free, and you should do that.
I'm probably, yeah. And so Chris Tolkien passes. The Tolkien estate decides, well, I mean, there's still water in this well.
Yeah, I mean, there's
And-
3 generations removed. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, quite frankly, if my grandpa was or great grandpa was J.R. Tolkien and I own the rights to his shit, fuck you, dude. I'm just like, make the money. Like, I literally don't have to do anything. And you'll just pay me hundreds of millions of dollars because of my great grandfather.
J.R.R. Tolkien Jr., also known as J.R.R.J.R., riding around on his
JRJR.
hoverboard at the set, being like, "Sorry, what?"
Small dude, just being like literally
Texting on your
the
hoverboard,
director.
doing a pivot like a spin, just like pivoting, spinning on your hoverboard, looking down. It's like, hey, do you mind if we just like change all of this? He looks up. Oh, sorry, what's up? Yeah, whatever, dude.
What's up?
Also,
Just read a fat fucking vape cloud in the director's face, and he's like, "I'm gonna destroy your grandfather's legacy, you little prick."
all right. So okay, so they're spending all this money. Okay? So they're spending
Spending all this money, over $1 billion at this point.
That's billion
and
with a Z.
with a Z, over $1 zillion at this point, and it's not really based on anything that Tolkien wrote, like directly, like story wise. So it's taking the concept of the Second Age. From what I know, things were alluded to, like you said, with like, what's his face, evil motherfucker acting like Lucifer,
Yep,
Darth Vader. But there's not really like too much going on that he wrote in the Second Age, and I think that was on purpose, on Tolkien's part. Apparently, it was estimated that Amazon. I'll have to see. I think they just announced that Amazon also just bought the rights to The Hobbit.
What is?
Let me make sure before I say
that they can show The Hobbit on Amazon Prime, or that they're gonna like.
No, they're gonna redo it.
Honestly,
Yeah, Amazon defy J.R. Tolkien's wish, buy rights to The Hobbit. So now
honestly, I'm not
Amazon
mad about that.
basically.
I wouldn't mind if they redid The Hobbit.
So Amazon basically just bought. Started the Second Age all the way until the end of The Hobbit. So they own all of that in between. Interesting. But they're not.
Wait, so
they're using
so
Lord
the
of the
actual Lord of the Rings, like the trilogy, that's still owned by like Harvey Weinstein, right?
whoever. Yeah. Harvey Weinstein and Whoopi Goldberg and Mel Gibson. Yeah, whoever own it.
There's a new Passion of the Christ movie coming out. You got to go see it.
Oh, for sure. It's the
Yeah,
resurrection.
it's gonna be trippy.
I can't wait, dude.
You
It's
ready
gonna be
for
really
it
good.
to lap Dune at the box office?
I hope so. I hope it does. I can't wait. I can't wait to
Forget
hear.
Herbert. We need more Crast.
We need to go with Christ. So Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power come out, and it's not about really anything in the universe, like any stories. There's the I'm gonna sound like a complete fucking idiot because I care, but not that much. The main elf female, what is her name?
Galadriel.
Galadriel. She is in the show. It's about her. They talk about how there are story
Like
elements.
Kate Blanchett is cast.
No, they're just using someone
Let's
else.
go recast. Let's go.
Here, I'll tell you who is playing
They
her.
should get Viggo
Let me
Mortensen to play her, just to like mess with everybody.
Morfydd Clark is playing Galadriel, so she's in
I think
this.
when I saw the cast list as well, I was like, oh, a bunch of like vaguely Nordic names. I'm like, this is not for me.
Robert Arameo is playing Elrond, who I know is in the first one because of the Council of Elrond,
He's got a
right?
big forehead.
Council of Elrond Hubbard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving, the Red Skull. Sorry, to put
Yes,
it in
of
terms
course.
you
Yeah,
would
sorry,
understand.
Red Skull. Marvel
The
terms,
Red
Marvel terms. Yeah,
Skull,
Red
the
Skull.
guy
Thank
who
you.
didn't show up.
Red Skull, but not in Infinity War because that's the dude from The Walking Dead.
Yep.
Did you know that Hugo Weaving
Yes,
isn't
yes,
in
yes, yeah, yeah. They
Infinity
got
War?
some random guy to play him.
Yeah. It's Ross Marquand, and he's a really good actor.
Was he in Spider-Man No
So
Way Home?
he might have been. He likely should
Yeah.
have. I haven't seen
If
that
he wasn't,
one,
I
so
don't. Yeah,
whatever.
I don't care if he wasn't.
Yeah. Galadriel. From what I know, there's the Tolkien had described Galadriel in her youth as being a strong fighter of Amazon disposition, and the series shows her journey from that point to becoming the elder stateswoman that the character is more commonly known as. And it's going to have some like revenge story about her brother dying or some shit like this. Bunch of other shit. Here's my question for you. We're going to spend $1 billion on all this. If none of it actually connects, really, besides just the name of Galadriel, to the rest of the story, or like to the rest of Lord of the Rings, why do you need the Lord of the Rings moniker? What's the fucking point? Isn't this just fan fiction? Because Tolkien didn't write any of this. So who the fuck has the say to write this?
Well, you need the moniker the same way that fan fiction needs the very medium it is in order to survive. People got to watch it. You obviously failed with The Wheel of Time, which is already beloved, very famous book series, does not have any stake in really film or television.
And nobody cares about the show. And when I say if you care about the show, that's good. Right. I mean, generally, nobody fucking cares.
So you just need a big, hot, steaming pile of IP to superimpose your stories on top of. I mean, and honestly,
so
it doesn't. I mean, like, it's interesting to like go in an age that really wasn't covered and do completely your own thing. Because other than that, you're literally just like copy, paste the screen, copy, paste the screen. I feel like aren't we always pushing for like we're sick of adaptation? Isn't this like a new cool way to do adaptation to be like in the world?
So there's a couple things that I think are important. The world building is created to supplement the story that is being told, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings as, to my understanding, he basically wanted to give England a shared mythology that it did not have. Is that about right where I am?
Yeah, because King Arthur's not a thing.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, of course. But
you know what we need? More national pride.
Where's the national pride in mythology?
Legolas sat down and cooked a tikka masala.
But you get my point. Is like with, I mean, the whole idea of like Norse mythology. Obviously, this is all really heavily adapted or based on Norse mythology. Apparently, what Tolkien wanted to create was his own sort of like English mythology.
Cool.
That is sort of like in that. Why the fuck would you create more? The story that was being told had a purpose. The purpose that he had with the themes, with the characters, with the messaging that he had. If you're not sticking or if you're not directly relating to that thing, why the fuck do you need to be in that particular universe is my question. And the thing that I'll compare it to is the idea of the Star Wars and like the High Republic or Star Wars and whatever the fuck else. I think anything that is a prequel absolutely loses its stakes because who fucking cares? Especially if we get here and the threat is that what's his face is going to come back and be a big baddie because we know that he won't. Guess what? We know he won't because we know it. No, my fucking voice. We know he won't because we know what happens later down the line.
He will. He may.
So I personally feel like they really
he could kill. He could kill.
But he might.
I
think they really fucked themselves by choosing a prequel.
By Milgan Herva, just a bunch of syllables slammed together. He might kill that person.
Yeah, Milgard Everclark. Yeah, but you get my point. Like it's like with watching the Rogue One. Like watching Rogue One, I liked Rogue One, but also I knew it was going to happen. So why am I invested?
How do you feel about?
I mean, there's you're literally just giving this story. Honestly, so this is what I'll say is different. Rogue One had a direct connection to the original trilogy, so you knew it was going to happen. Mandalorian and Star Wars is big enough to where if the stakes are low enough, and I think this is what Amazon needs to do for this to be successful enough, and don't have an impact on a direct impact on things that happen later in the story, then it is appropriate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's enough stories, especially the ones that were kind of like supplemented and largely written by Chris Token later, that you could do something that's in that universe, so people can be like, "Oh wow, cool," but
Mm-hmm.
is not does not have an impact on the plot. Like I remember we were at the bookstore.
Exactly.
I was dunking on the Children of Hurin. Not really related. Not going to have like, you
Oh, that's
know,
Lord of the Rings.
right. Not going to have like
Okay.
huge impact on, like, the characters live, or the characters are going to ultimately fail or triumph.
Yeah.
It's just good, interesting, cool drama set in this world that we love. Like that would be a good option. I get what you're saying. They want to have their big tent pole, like Amazon's equivalent. Amazon wants to eventually release something equivalent to a Star Wars or equivalent to a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They don't have anything like that. They don't have any
No,
big budget IP. Big,
and the
you know what I
thing
mean?
is, I think George Lucas proved that you just have to steal, but you don't have to directly adapt a story for it to be big and for it to resonate. Um, Maybe you do adapt and it becomes big. I don't understand why someone like Netflix, someone like Amazon doesn't pump $1 billion into a series that is popular, is beloved, like The Wheel of Time, but you do it right. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't read the
I mean,
books. I don't know anything
I
about
mean,
it.
what is
But
right? That's what they're trying. They're not trying to do it wrong. You know what I mean? They're just
that's true. That's a good point.
like, you could do something like Netflix and just
Mm-hmm.
like you say, like steal it, but don't be too overt, but actually be super overt. And then they make Stranger Things, and it's super popular, and it's as
Well, yeah, there you
big
go.
as the property that it's ripping off.
Yeah.
But that takes a lot of legwork. That takes a lot of marketing dollars to get people in the door and buy on, and it might not work. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's probably like 15 of those that didn't work, and we never even saw them. Whereas
That's true.
you have built-in eyeballs with established IP. And if you're Amazon, you're not in the business of growing and seeding things. You're like, what do I have to do to make $1 billion? I'm sorry. I got I got to make money.
I mean, that's what they're.
Which
But I
is
don't
why
understand.
they're not a great
It's going to drive up
it's why
Prime.
they're not a great content creator. They're so business focused.
They're not. I mean, yeah, yeah. I don't understand how this is going to drive up Prime sales, because if Prime Video is connected to the same exact thing that makes your loot at your door a day sooner, I don't know how those two things are connected. You know what I mean? Like I don't get the idea of, oh, we're going to pump $1 billion into this thing that we didn't come up with and we're creatively bankrupt, but we're going to steal from, and how that's going to translate into, oh, you can get your books 3 days faster. Like that doesn't make any sense to
Yeah, I
me.
mean,
When you get Disney Plus or the Disney Plus bundle, which I admit I think is a pretty slamming deal, honestly, with the Hulu and the ESPN, you're not also getting like foot massages every Wednesday because you've bought the Disney Plus bundle. You know what I mean? Like there's not a thing
right.
tacked on top of it that it doesn't have to do with
Because
entertainment. It's just
because
purely
Disney is
entertainment based.
content.
So I don't even know how they're going to be able to track
It's
sales.
just because Disney is content and content first. Like they're not trying to get into another game. Like
Yeah.
Prime is way out of their lane.
Okay, so maybe that's the problem. This feels like content
Yeah,
afterthought.
it is. I mean, that's Amazon.
Like we're trying to offer you something on top of your shoes getting here
Exactly.
quicker.
Amazon they didn't start out. They started out as a bookstore. I mean,
Mhm.
they're barely. There's a reason that nobody cares about their shows and nobody cares about Amazon Prime Music, even though we all have it, but we still
Yeah.
we still pay
Okay.
for Spotify.
Literally,
we
no one
doing?
gives a
What
shit.
why are
Yeah.
we doing that? It's
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
there's a reason, and it's because it all sucks because it's not exactly what we want. Like it's
It is.
probably
Yeah.
good enough.
It's soulless, and it's
We're
fucking
like
soulless.
we could be like giant babies. Like we could save a ton of money and just pray at the altar of Bezos, and it would be probably fine. But it's just not good enough. It's just missing that because it's way out
Yeah,
of its
I
lane.
don't. Yeah,
Way out of its lane.
I think that's it, and I think that's the issue. And so when you hear that they spent $1 billion, when you hear that, oh, we're gonna make The Hobbit too, don't you worry, you little pricks. When you hear that,
That was funny.
like when you yeah, we're gonna make it too, you little bitch. But when you hear that they're doing that, when you hear that they're doing a story that Tolkien didn't write, when you hear that they're casting people that some Hobbit fans and Lord of the Rings fans didn't like, whatever the fuck that shit is, it's just, to me, it's just sort of like, why? Like, just stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I either make your own thing and make it really well, or just don't do it at all. Like, I'm just getting really tired of these, and I understand that the family had to sell it. I'm getting really tired of these like huge corporations thinking they can get into the quote unquote content creation business, and then they just like do whatever they want with it. Like, make your own fucking story. The people being paid to adapt it. And clearly, we see that some people who are good at adapting aren't good at creating stories, aka Game of Thrones. But I don't know. It just seems like a waste of time.
Alex, Amazon is a space company and a space company first. Whatever else they want to do, they can, but it's just not going to be as good.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like what?
Amazon
Like how
is a
foolish would it be if Walmart was like, "Hey, come to Walmart Omega. We have TV shows." What? They're like, "Yeah, watch all the Roseanne and Reba. You can." And it's like, no one fucking cares, dude. This is Walmart,
dude.
Like,
honestly, Walmart has a pretty dedicated fan base. Like, they would know exactly what properties to pick up, and it could be huge.
Like,
if you want to see,
I swear
Roseanne
to God,
Barr,
they'd probably be more successful.
If you want to see Roseanne Barr on her show and not get kicked off of it, you're gonna go to Walmart Omega Plus.
Dude, it's like
not Walmart Omega, Walmart Omega Plus, because Walmart Omega is something
Omega
totally different.
Plus
Walmart
extra.
Omega Plus is streaming. Walmart Omega is nothing. You don't want that.
It would be like Walmart Jams, and it's their music streaming, and it's just Toby Keith and Garth Brooks. It's just those two, but for some reason, there's 800 billion people who are listening all the time.
With Target, and if you buy the Adele Target CD, it's got one extra song on it, and she sings about red light special sales or something. I don't know. I've never gotten it. So I don't know.
Well, it's like it's also already kind of happened with Walmart, and it's really sort of incredible that this isn't really discussed more, because everyone that discusses things in the media are a bunch of cultural elitist pricks. And what I'm saying is, I think it's Garth Brooks. He is like, I think, like one of the greatest recording artists of all time. Like, as far as sales go,
awesome. He like gives away free homes at his shows.
He does, but part of the reason that he's so popular and that he's so big is because of the fact that Walmart. I think he has an exclusive distribution deal with Walmart on CDs. Why is that important? Because for a majority of the area of the country, so the parts that are not on the coasts, for a very long time, their internet was not very good to their phones. So, and to this day, it still really isn't in a lot of places. So CDs are actually still super popular, or downloading music to your phone before, or whatever. Okay, I get it. But when you were traveling for a long time, CDs were still really important. Walmart's everywhere in the South and the Midwest. And so people would literally go there and just buy Garth Brooks CDs because that's what was there. And that, I mean, I think it's Garth Brooks.
It was smart marketing. He knew his audience. He knew where he needed to be.
Yeah. And so it's like, now that we're talking about it, I think we need to go to Walmart and kind of, see what's going on, see if they can give us a cut. But the point is, Walmart Omega Plus, fuck you, bitch. But I guess my point with that is, Walmart doesn't provide entertainment. Why the fuck is Amazon trying to be? And why? It's like with Facebook. Okay, so Facebook is now fucking Meta. So it's Facebook, it's WhatsApp, it's Instagram, it's Oculus, it's shove it up your ass. It's just like
they're not. They actually do have like a video game studio. They're trying to make Oculus stuff, but they're.
But that's because they have a proprietary technology that there's not like VR video game developer companies that are huge that can make AAA titles.
That is probably a closer leap than going from being like a logistics supply chain company to a movie studio. And it just goes to show, I mean, like, money can't buy everything. Like, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It's not about, can't just like pump cash into something and it becomes great. But, it's also new. In 10, 15 years, maybe it all catches up.
Okay, but see, I'm going to see if I can contradict what you just said about pumping money into things. And I think this is an important thing to consider when we're talking about these things. When I was in high school, I will admittedly say I really, in the last 2 years, prided myself on the way that I dressed. Didn't have a lot of money, but I always tried to dress nice. Okay. I put thought into like style, all this other stuff. Fast forward to this one day where we're talking about senior superlatives. I don't give a fuck about senior superlatives. Whatever. Didn't care. Whatever. But high school was huge, so I wasn't going to win anything anyways. Terrible personality. Wasn't going to win anything anyways. But I was sitting in class, and there was this kid who was, A, just an absolute shithead, and B, always had really expensive clothes. But he didn't, like, wear them the right way. You know what I mean? Like, he'd have, like, clashing patterns. He would just, like, I don't know, just the styles didn't match. Like, it's, breaking basic tenets of fashion. One of the softest things I've ever said was that, but I'll keep going. And And we were sitting there and we were all just like, oh, who would be, senior superlatives in class? And someone goes, oh, I think so-and-so is best dressed. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? Look at him. Like, none of that matches. And they go, but it's all Gucci. And I was like, so? It doesn't fucking matter if it's all Gucci. It doesn't match. And then, like, there were a lot of people who are like, I don't know, he might be the best dressed. So when you say you can't just pump out a $500 million turd and people know that there's no style there, I don't know if that's entirely true. Because I don't know if for some people all that really matters is the price. Like the shimmer, the glimmer, the whatever you want to call it. Like maybe the substance doesn't have to be there. Maybe the thoughtfulness doesn't have to be there. Maybe for some people it's content. My brain doesn't work very good, and this looks pretty.
And I think that's exactly what Amazon is betting on.
And most of those people already have Amazon Prime subscriptions that they use for their parents. From their parents.
And they use it to buy their Funko Pops. I'm just going to put a pin before we move on to the fix. This already happened many years ago remember when like every fast food chain was putting out a video game, like a disc you could put. Like,
yeah, for
you could
sure.
Be the Burger
yeah.
King and like ride a skateboard, or you could be like Wendy and like.
I used to fuck around with that Pizza Hut one for the computer.
It's not.
Yeah, it was a delivery driver was skating, and you had to like get through a city.
The newer and more open the field or the media is, the more like established large corporations think, I could do that. I could jump in there.
I guess so.
What is that, a video game? I'm Pizza Hut. I could do that. What is this, streaming? I'm Amazon. I could do that.
I'm Apple. I'm a phone company. Fuck you. Here's Foundation.
All right. Okay, so we've done this,
So here's I guess we'll just put the pin on it. Here's my question. Do you want to know how the 7th of the 9th rings was passed through the bowel of some dude in the first age or the third age? Like, is that something that you're interested in? Because we're going to get that eventually. Is that fan fiction?
Yeah, well, no, they own it, right? I've asked you this 100 times. They own it, so no.
Oh, yeah.
I've asked you, is it every comic you read fan fiction? Because it's not the guy who made it or the gal who made it. And you said,
that's true.
No, they own it.
Well, okay, but again, I think I'll point the difference is the company has always owned that property, and they did not option the property. The property of Lord of the Rings is still owned by the Tolkien estate.
It's officially optioned. It's lent out. I mean...
it's leased. They've leased the rights.
So the fan fiction you write...
You get it for 5 years.
The fan fiction they write, they can stream and make millions of dollars off of.
All I'm saying is I'm encouraging all 5 people who are going to listen to this to write better write better fan fiction about Lord of the Rings than Amazon ever could.
Or write better Amazon fan fiction than J.R. Tolkien.
Lord of the Rings ever could.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful. Good. Well, that was fun. What did you think? Was that a good opening topic?
I forgot what that topic was.
The point was, is it fan fiction?
Ah, okay. That's a new one. Yeah, no, it was good. I appreciate that. And I didn't know about the show.
The fuck do you mean that's a new one? I literally asked you, is this fan fiction, you dick?
No, and I didn't know about the show, so I feel like I learned a lot about it, and that's good. Thank you. That was good.
I'll send you more stuff on it. What's really crazy is someone did this breakdown. They had these different they had this ad that was shown of that. This just blows my mind. They flew in different influencers from all around the world to watch the teaser trailer. And then they literally filmed the people's reactions to the teaser trailers and then did interviews with all of the people reacting to their reactions to a teaser trailer. I want to fucking kill myself.
There's a YouTube channel that's just that.
Yeah, literally. And it's literally like reaction from Germany, reaction from influencers in Italy and Spain and the US and wherever else. Okay. But then this dude did this breakdown on like the pacing of the trailer, and he literally was like, no, you don't understand. They would have had to shoot these reactions like 3 separate times because none of this makes sense in continuity. And so it's literally like there's one where they'll cut to, because the teaser's like 30 seconds, and they'll cut to the person and they're literally like looking up at the screen, wide eyes, like whatever. And then literally they'll cut to the thing for a second and cut back to the person, and they're like on their phone recording it or like taking a picture, like doing a selfie. And it's like that continuity wise doesn't make sense.
In like the 2 seconds you look up at the camera.
It's a soulless directed reaction. It's not even a real reaction. Amazon is even manufacturing the reactions of the people they've paid a lot of money to talk about the thing that nobody wants to watch.
Well, to be in Amazon's defense, they probably were like, hey, you're content creators, what do you want to do? And they came up with the worst possible idea ever because...
Well, yeah, not very intelligent. Yeah.
All right. That's fair.
I'll send you the breakdown. I didn't know you didn't go down this rabbit hole already, and I want to bring you with me. I'm in the mud, and I'd like to drag you
Okay,
down.
let's do it. Let's read some. Let's read some
Let's
nice
read some picks.
content. Some real
Okay,
earthy,
some good
granola,
content.
crunchy content.
Yes. So I guess to give a flashback, a reminder. The first Fiverr episode was episode 55, and I surprised Ryan by what is it? What's it called? Uh, hiring people on Fiverr. There's a
Propositioning,
word for it. I propositioned, yes, three separate
commissioned. You
people on
commissioned.
Fiverr. I commissioned. That's what I was looking for, you asshole. I commissioned people on Fiverr to write stories about Ryan. Um, I'll ask it now because I've been curious. I also
I didn't.
commissioned a
Nope, I
furry
didn't.
artist.
I didn't.
Motherfucker. Okay. I gave
I
Ryan
did
a
have.
furry
There was a guy who
persona.
was going to. I wanted to do fan fiction music, and he was going to create a score, like a musical score similar to like the soundtrack of like your favorite movies. And I was like, great. And
Okay.
it was gonna be like $60. I was like, nah.
No,
But
no, that's too much. I'd get mad at
it
you
would
if you
have been
did
listen
that.
to my fanfic. Stick my fanfic in your
Okay.
ear is what I would have called it.
In your ear. Okay. Well, that's cool. Okay, so I surprised you with some. I kind of did some fandoms that you like. I think all three of them were ones you liked, right? Star Wars, Calvin and
Yeah,
Hobbes, and
I
then what
hated
was the
them.
third one?
Harry
Why'd
Potter
you
was the
hate
last
them?
one.
Harry Potter. Yeah, I had you have sex with
Yes,
Hermione.
yes.
That was it. She was in charge of like the Ministry of whatever, and you like had sex in her office. Okay, I remember. Those were great. What are you
They were
talking
excellent,
about, dude?
and I
They were
felt
awesome.
I felt
And
I
the
just want to I felt the need to at least meet that quality level. So I went out and I found
okay,
three
good,
excellent creators,
good.
and I picked three of your favorites. And I'm not going to have you have
Okay,
sex with anybody. It's not going to be zany. I wanted them to give it their best shot.
motherfucker.
So I really
Okay,
wanted some good, and I feel like we got three very
okay,
solid, very
okay.
interesting pieces for you to look at.
And I honestly, to anyone listening, I have not read these. I pulled them up on my computer. That's all I did. Obviously, like if I catch a glance of a word, I caught a glance of a word. So I don't know what they're about. I can guess there's probably going to be one about Dune. The other two, I really don't know. And then one of the priorities I had is I wanted to try to like hit fanfic tropes, which is why we did the sex. But then for the Star Wars one that I really enjoyed, and we made a pretty cool internet friend, Danny, and she's the person that wrote it, and then we became friends on Twitter, and she's really cool. Um, with that one, we also had the soulmate trope.
It's good.
Remember?
And that like
Yeah,
that
that one
kind
was
of
so
like
much fun.
predicted Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
A little bit. It wasn't not Rise of Skywalker, which is stupid. Um, so I we'll see if Ryan went for any tropes. We'll see if they just hit the tropes on their own. I'm honestly very excited. I've been waiting a while to read these. So if you're ready, I'm
Do
ready,
it.
Ryan. All right, I'm gonna mute my mic so I can clear my throat so I can read, and then we're good.
I believe this first one is comes to you by way of Deborah Connell. Deborah
Okay.
Connell on
Okay.
Fiverr. So thank you to her.
Okay.
Just fantastic work. Very responsive. She was very easy to work with.
Oh, good. Yeah. So this is the one that you labeled one.
I think this is it.
Okay. It's 1,199
Yep, they're all
words.
beefy.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what I did or what happened to me. I don't know. So, all right, wonderful. One. I guess you'll tell me the title afterwards.
They don't have titles. They don't have
There is a
titles.
title.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So number one. People assumed that Alex had never questioned his life choices. Had assumed because he was so good at his life's vocation that he had never contemplated if it was the right path. The right path. Or his right path. The right path. Whether or not there was something out there that could make him happier, or happy to begin with, he guessed. Because in reality, Alex questioned it every day. On whether or not he was doing the right thing, had long debates with himself on how his choices affected others. With a taller than average height, good build, and stern expression that felt permanently fixed to his face, not many people came